So this is session 2 of 3 of one of the 2 things of Retrocember Rolemaster that I'm running, because you wouldn't expect the Gauntlet to have Rolemaster in it. That's what I'm doing, because I'm insane. Anyway, we're playing with Slumbering Ursine Dunes, which is a very fun Labyrinth Lord point crawl. Has some bits that I quite like in it. We've played 1 session. We've had some little player change out, but we've got some existing players. I'm going to have them introduce themselves. Going to add in our new players. We're going to do a little bit of logistics, and then I'm going to recap where they are leading up to the current events, which is for our 2 new characters walking right into the middle of a fight, as it turns out. So I'm going to start with our resident warrior monk. Could Beltru, can you please tell us, give us the quick 1-minute pitch about who you are?
Well, Beltru is a sort of questing warrior knight, though she doesn't quest very hard. Essentially, mostly what she seems to be doing is looking for more bells. She wears a lot of them, and she has extraordinary control over them. When she wears them, they only ring when she wants them to. And she essentially won't touch coin. She deals entirely in bells. And so she can be a little bit inconvenient, but in some ways she's particularly easy to get her to go along with whatever you need done. She hits pretty hard, but it's not like she's all out to cause a lot of pain to anyone or anything, unless they're threatening or have bells. And that's pretty much it. Well,
excellent. And we have a picture of you in the Roll20, if I recall.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that looks great. Okay.
Thank you. We can just assure everyone it's a great looking picture. Okay.
Yes. Fair enough. All right. Thank you, then, Beltru. Our next character is Krevia, our sorcerer, whose name I will slightly mispronounce each time I say it. Just going to tell you that right now. Give us the 1-minute pitch.
Sure. So Kreva is a mercenary sorcerer who only taught or learned enough of the sorcerer's powers to be somewhat useful in life, and then decided to make as much money out of this as possible. But due to bad luck, at some point he got rescued by Beltru and promised to follow her in her bell quest. And as a result, instead of making money and doing mercenary jobs, is following the warrior monk and looking out for bells.
Excellent. And he's dressed so that people don't immediately go, ooh, a sorcerer. He's playing it pretty casual, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Excellent. All right. So the first of our new characters is our bard, our half-elven bard, who is going to pronounce his first name and then his short name.
His first name is Azarafik Harlizan, but that is a mouthful that not even he likes, so he just goes by Raph Miller. It's pretty clear which side of that was the human side of the family and which was the elven side. So Raph is not opposed to handling coin at all. Handles quite a lot of coin, especially for this group. Is happy to act as the go-between and can get a good price on bells. He's a capable swordsman. He is a bard character, though, so his primary interest is on the collection and performing of songs, and the great feats that he will no doubt accomplish are really just a pathway to better songs. And stories, which in turn become coin. So great deeds equals stories equals more coins. And some amount of bells, apparently. So yeah, he's your Pop and J type. So he's charismatic but kind of ridiculous.
So what does he look like?
You know, I've been digging up some good pictures here. He doesn't particularly try to hide that he's a half-elf, especially, although, you know, the hair gets shaggy. He doesn't really wear much of a beard. I think he probably has like a little bit of one. I was kind of thinking of Tulio from El Dorado, if you've ever seen that, with Miguel and Tulio.
Okay.
Yeah, he tends to smirk a lot. He is wearing some lovely light armor that is, red naturally, because there's no point trying to hide that kind of magnificence.
Right.
As well as a slim enchanted sword that he swears is much more enchanted than most people believe. They think it's just like maybe good quality, maybe light, but he's like, oh no. No. Let me tell you the story of this. Perhaps at the end you'll pay me for a glass of ale or two, and maybe some songs of your own. So
After he's done his let me tell you about my character moment with his sword. So
let me tell you about your character.
Okay. Excellent. And last of all, we have our cleric, Udane.
Yeah, Udane.
Udane. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm seeing Udane as a priest of geometries, and so he kind of presents to you with like a kind of a leather brigandine armor that kind of each block of the leather has like within it cut like a kind of like extremely fine shapes. He's kind of like a little bit of a contemplative, like he's kind of like more quiet spoken, and always kind of looking at the horizon. Yeah, you never catch like a sunrise or sunset without him looking at the like light, because he really believes that like his deity presents in like the red spectrum. So he's anytime that there's like red or oranges, like he's like very, very focused on that. But he's not like a proselytizing kind of cleric. He very much believes that if you are wise enough, then you will see the truth in what he has to offer. He's happy to engage, but he's not out looking for converts.
Do we have a name for your god?
I don't have one.
Okay. I assume it's a formula, that it's a mathematical formula of some sort.
Yeah, if someone is more math-minded than I am, I'm open to suggestions.
So last time, the first portion of the group, and we're sort of retconning, all four of you plus the rogue were in a wizard's tower because he had a magnificent bell. Beltru likes bells, and he had a magnificent bell. There was some other stuff to be stolen, but that was a primary objective for some people. In the course of this, you were discovered, and the group got split and leapt through some portals. And part of the group that we saw on camera last time landed here next to what appeared to be a reservoir lake. They were able to identify that they are in the Slumbering Ursine Dunes, a place at the edge of civilization, the wilderness, a continent that's made up of many large islands, and this is one of the northern ones that has the sort of the ends of civilization. We've come to the back. The dunes themselves are massive, red sand, fine-grained sand. Imagine that they are 200, 300 feet tall. And the dunes themselves are like moving through these valleys of sand. Are paths and trees and bushes and rocks down at the bottom. This is a place that it is known has strange magics and is legendary for being overseen by a figure known as Medved, who is a little god, maybe a hero quester turned god of bears and the wilderness, who has his people out here. Our group fought some undead. They were able to defeat them. They were horrible things. They found a little bit of treasure in doing so. They camped. Then they went and they met with a set of beavers and who ran a giant dam and they met with the project manager, and they discussed bread and various other things, and got a number of pieces of information about the dunes themselves, and heard that Medved, his temple, lies in the dunes, and at the very top of that temple, there's a magnificent bell in a tower up at the top. And with that statement, with that information given to the group, their path, their course was most certainly set. And so they set off in the morning, and they were heading along. They're on a path to a T-junction. They know that they need to head south at the junction, and that will take them to a couple of other locations that they were told about and how to move down. And they moved along, and they just managed to spot a potential ambush. And they were moving up on this. And the ambush that they saw was by some people known as the Eld. And the Eld are elves, but other world. They're from another dimension. They their culture is cruel and wicked and xenophobic. They would very much like to destroy this world to get home. They're unpleasant, awful people, and they've set up in this ambush. The group has just begun to move along to get into position. And it's at that point that Udane and our Raph, you have been traveling along. You also fell through into another part of the dunes. You've been traveling along, heading this way, and you two see the rogue. You see your companion there. His name again is Alenica, the gnome, and was moving along, and you would have called out to get Alenica's attention and shouted out. Which of you would have bellowed to Alenica, do you think? Is that going to be our bard? So you would have called out, and Alenica stops, arrow, sprout on her, and she kind of drops to the ground.
Alenica, ooh.
Okay.
Sorry.
And there is, you can see that there is this ambush party. Alenica seems to be kind of moving into a sneak position, and from where you're at, you're a distance away, but you can see these Eld. There are 4 of them kind of behind a pair of rocks, and you'll probably spot your other 2 companions, that Beltru and Kreva, also kind of moving into position there. So, and move right into a combat scene here, just to throw you into the deep end. And on your bio and info page, you'll see that you have an initiative bonus. You roll 2d10 and add that, and tell me what that is, and we will set the initiative order for actions.
So this is set up slightly different than I'm used to with D20. And I know you mentioned having the thing to do the rolling before.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey, there's a picture of a thing that says how to do.
Okay. So Udane is on 7. Bell is on 11. Jason is
Oh, it worked, but I rolled terrible.
That's how I like to hear it there. And Kreva, and then I'll do this. The only bad thing about the quick roller that's off to the side is, oh, they do actually have a D100 one in there. That's good. Okay. 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 All right.
What the heck?
Terrible. So there are 4 of these eld, and I'll show you in Roll20 a picture of what these eld look like. Can pull this up, and I don't know if you can see that in Roll20. That's sort of the look. They're very strange. Odd elven folk of weird, unnatural dress. Stylish, but unnatural. So we're actually going to start this round. The eld have kind of jumped up, and you'll see one of them begin to chant and draw power. Clearly, some kind of magic user, and is preparing a spell for its action. Beltru, what do you want to do? You'll see there's a sorcerer, an archer, and 2 eld, essentially with shields and sort of wicked, wavy daggers.
All right. So I would like to close and smack that sorcerer. So
Okay. So it's going to be a significant move for you to get to him on this round, but it is possible. So let's say a -40 to your attack roll.
All right. And additionally, I'm making this move. I'm also going to put 20 aside for adrenal speed for next time.
Okay, so you're rolling to attack the sorcerer with a -60 to your attack roll.
Okay. And it's not that I particularly plan to hit him. I just plan to draw the attention to me.
Okay. Are you using strikes or sweeps and throws?
I think sweeps and throws.
Okay. And what is the rank you're using with that?
I think. This is a story I'm telling myself at this moment.
Fair enough.
Yes, that is what I'm doing.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't really expect to hit. I just expect to draw attention.
Okay. Rank 2?
Yes, please.
Okay. Go ahead and roll it.
'56.
So 56. So yes, you will rush up and get in the middle of them. Essentially, you get up to this mage, and he has one of the Malay people beside him, but you don't land the blow as you come up on him. The Malay person that is next to him is going to lash out at you with his blade.
Yes.
Is your armor type?
It's 1,
and
what? My defense is 78.
Because you're a crazy monk.
That's right.
Okay. So that plus that. So he lashes out with this blade, brings it close to you, but doesn't catch you with the hit.
Okay.
The other Malay person who's next to the eld archer kind of moves to position himself between the archer and other people to kind of form a defensive wall there. And let me make sure I got that written down there. That's on that. So, Kreia, what do you want to do?
So I would just like to understand how the situation looks like. I understand that there is Beltru. Then there are those 2 fighters in front of her.
Yeah, so there's Beltru. She's moved up to one of the pairs. She's got the mage and one of the fighters by her. There's maybe about 10, 20 feet to another rock, and there's an archer and the other Malay guy over there.
Okay, and they're next to each other.
Yes.
Okay, so I will try to do a vacuum on both of them. Is the range of the vacuum enough to cover both of those folks?
Yeah, I think it's close enough to do that, depending on your casting roll.
Sure. So, and I also like to do it in the same round.
Yes.
Okay. So let me first roll a 100 to see if if I can do it in the same round. Yes.
Yes. Let's see what happens.
47.
Okay. So it will go off, but it's only going to catch one of them. Do you want to catch the archer or the warrior?
The archer.
Okay. Then what that will look like, again, describe what that vacuum looks like. Physical effect.
Sure. Well, the air basically disappears, and the elves are grappling. The one elf is grappling by his throat, trying to catch some breath, and I don't know, maybe dropping his bow as a result. After which it comes back again and squishes him from all sides.
Boom. Does that crack? You'll hear that crackle of that. You roll your B critical. It's a B crush critical.
Okay.
Our first crit roll for the night. Just roll a D100. Let's see what happens. 56. So that hits him. The edge of the vacuum seems to catch him on the leg, and kind of knocks him forward. You can see he took some damage from that, and he's not going to be able to fire this round. That's the effect of it. It didn't hit him too hard, but it does mean he's not going to be able to get any kind of shot off right now. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. Roth.
All right. So to do a spell would take me a round to set up the spell, right?
You could set it up and cast it next round, or you could cast it fast.
Right. And we're pretty darn far from everyone because we were down at the bottom of the dunes, right?
Well, you've moved up. We would have assumed that you're sort of the same distance to these eld as the other group was, because there's some cover and things like that, just for dramatic purposes.
All right. So what I kind of would like to do, and you can tell me whether or not this is a no-go, is I would like to disrupt the mage's casting. And what I'm thinking is I would use ventriloquism, so I'm singing right in his freaking ear. Now, I'm not sure if I need a different skill for that. I don't know if there's a skill list somewhere or something like that.
Well, what I would do is I would have you make a casting roll, and we use the ventriloquism as an attempt to disrupt, depending on your roll. If you roll really well, it's going to be harder for him to resist having his concentration broken.
All right. So do I add anything for this?
No, for casting rolls are just a straight D100.
Awesome. Let's do it. And also, I'm fast casting it, so.
Oh, yes. You want to get above a 27.
I'm pretty sure I got this. All right.
So.
I did not get this.
One of the things you have is you have 4 hero points. That's all you have for all 3 sessions, or 2 sessions as the case may be. But you can spend them to re-roll, or you can take the effect.
Oh, I'll roll it again.
Okay.
I want to start off better than this, but so we'll hope for the best.
Okay.
Here we go. 45. Still not great.
45. Not great. It does go off. And what is the sound that he's hearing in his ear?
Well, I'm so he's swung his lute around and is singing like bawdy sailor songs right into his ear. Like since the cleric is right next to me, he actually can't hear anything. Like it looks like I'm seeing with all but all the noise is coming out right in the ear of the elf up there.
And since Beltru, you are right by it, you can hear your bard singing shanties just bursts out in the middle, like somebody dropped their iPod on full over there. Okay.
Yeah, I never understood this song, the one with the knock knock knockers come knock knock knocking. I don't get it.
It's a classic. How could you not get that?
All right, I'm going to roll a resistance for this Eld Sorcerer. 46. Let me see, and you had that for that. That's not going to keep him from casting, but it is going to delay his casting by 1 round.
Fair enough.
Essentially, he's going to have to prepare an extra round to do that. So he's like, doesn't know where this is coming from, is annoyed, doesn't understand these lyrics, doesn't make any sense.
Tell you the classic.
Udane.
Yeah. So I'm interested in using summoning as a thing.
Sure.
So, but I'm not clear like what level I should be going for because I don't really understand what I'm expending or what the risk is of the different levels.
So let me give you a set of examples for what kind of things might be of standard creatures here.
Mm-hmm.
So I look at the. Look at the other book. It's Rolemaster. Of course, I have to get another book. So for example, a rat would be a level 1 thing. A buffalo would be a level 4. A deer might be a level 2. A cow might be a level 3. So it's that kind of thing. A sheep is level 2.
Okay.
So generally what they summon is animals of various kinds, not monsters.
Okay. So it would maybe is of less combat utility then, is more of a.
It depends on where you put the animal.
All right. Well, wait. So there were arrows a moment ago. Are there still arrows flying around?
The archer has been disrupted by the sorcerer's attack, and so he's not going to be able to fire on this round.
All right. Yeah. So I think I would like to summon maybe a poison adder, like a desert adder.
Oh, okay. That seems. Yep. A pit viper would be like level 2.
Okay. So I'll do that, and maybe I guess fast cast it at the feet.
Sure. Of the archer, of one of the Malay people, who
I think the archer. I see him as having just killed, maybe a companion, someone who I cared about, and like I said, I distrust 2-dimensional forces like arrows. It's just disrespectful to use the most sacred geometry for such foul means.
Fair enough. And so to repay him, you summon a pit viper at his feet. All right, let's have you roll a casting roll. You want to get a 27 or above to have this go off. So it will land there at his feet. It's not going to act on this round because it has summoning sickness, and but it will be angry that it's been called out and dropped in front of someone on the next round. Does that seem fair?
That seems fair.
Okay. Beltru would come around to the next round. The archer bobbled his action at the end of the round. What do you want to do?
I want to goob out my monkey dude. So essentially, I'm going to roll for adrenal speed. I hope that I will make it.
Go ahead and roll.
No, except I have to look to see what my skill is in it again. I'm sorry. My apologies.
That's okay.
It's on a different page than all my other skills. Adrenal speed. Oh, wait, no, it isn't. Okay.
Let's see it.
Yes! All right, I get 2 actions, right?
That you do.
Okay, so I'm going to start with sweeps 2 on the caster again.
Okay. Go ahead and make your attack roll on the caster. How much are you putting everything into the attack, I assume?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I'm going to open end.
Okay.
I don't think it matters for much there, so.
Go ahead and roll again. Add it to that.
I don't know. Gosh, I should have done that math trick. So, 1, 13.
Okay.
So 231.
You don't get a wraparound, but you will get a unbalancing crit here from your sweeps or a martial arts sweep throw. So roll your B critical. Essentially, as you smack him lightly and then roll.
For 11. Oh.
Okay.
It was a beautiful strike that was perfect form.
Yeah, but
he's
it doesn't
weird
quite
shaped.
land.
Yeah.
Yes, but you have a second action with your adrenal speed.
That's right. That was a little frustrating. Perhaps I'll move to strikes then.
Okay. Attacking.
Actually, no. I'll try to get the sweeps again. I want him out for a turn or two. So.
Okay. Roll it.
137.
Okay, so 127. So that's another B, another some 4 points and a B critical.
10.
10.
This guy is weird.
He is. Of course, you could spend a hero point to reroll that crit.
Oh. You know what? Yeah, I will, because I haven't spent one yet.
Yes, spend it. Spend your resources. Ooh, 79.
Almost respectable.
Okay. So you hit that time, you come in, you land, you strike at him, you don't land that blow pretty well, but then you hit him and you throw him and he comes down on his hand. And you will hear a couple of his fingers crack as he tries to catch himself with that. And he screams out in pain. He is stunned for 2 rounds, essentially, as he came down on that hand and broke the fingers on his left hand there. He is wailing.
All right. And then he hears a celebratory little jingle of bells. There you go.
No, he actually doesn't. What he's hearing is shanties. This person with the broadsword is going to attempt to strike at you, and essentially is going to go full on you. So what is your defensive bonus?
76.
76. So he's going to be rolling with a minus that. Oh, so that's not bad.
Nope.
So that would be minus 6. So an 84 is you're going to take 9 points.
Okay.
And an A crush.
Oh, see, you'll kill me with this.
It could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like me to re-roll that?
Yes, please.
Okay, spend that point.
I go from a bazillion points to 2.
Okay, so you look up and you see that he's about to bring the blow down onto your head, and you'll kind of spin back, and he hits you in the upper chest.
Yes.
You're going to take 8 hits.
Okay.
You're going to be stunned for 3 rounds.
Ah, dang it. I'll count them down.
Okay. So you guys will see Beltru get hit pretty significantly by one of the Malay, the guy with the wavy dagger kind of cuts across her with that. And that means the other Malay guy hasn't noticed the snake yet, but he does see that the sorcerer is down, and so he is also going to spend his action moving over across the sand over towards where Beltru is to try and interpose and get the sorcerer out of the way. He'll get over there and pull the sorcerer back. Kreia. Every time it's going to be wrong.
Okay, so did the second fighter come to the group already?
So he took his whole action and he ran over and put himself between Bell and the sorcerer and kind of moved the sorcerer back. Yeah, so he's kind of pushed the sorcerer. So he and the sorcerer are grouped together. The other warrior is up by Bell.
So they're pretty close, the sorcerer. So I'll try the vacuum once again.
Fast casting again. Okay.
And I have like a suspicion that something bad happens if I don't roll high enough. And you are very excited about this.
There is a spell failure roll for when you fast cast. I've mentioned that before.
Okay, well, let's see. 84.
So that will go off. Let's have you roll your B critical on them.
71.
71. And let's have you roll your critical on the warrior.
91.
So that vacuum goes off, and the sorcerer is kind of thrown by it, and kind of lands on his hand again and is writhing on the ground in pain. Okay. The warrior who was standing there hits him, and you see it clearly caught him right in the head and eardrums, and he just drops. It looks like his head got knocked around by that, and he goes into a coma on the ground. I'll read you the crit. If no helm, he is in a coma for 3 weeks. So that is the effect of that hit.
So I have a question. As the sorcerer,
Yes.
do you need hands to cast this? I know I'm either I am waving my hands or not. Is this the magic?
Yes.
You do. So is the sorcerer basically, useless at this point?
Yeah, because they aren't casting mentalism spells, so yeah, if he tries to cast, he's going to be a big penalty. He's also stunned for several rounds, so he's not going to be able to do anything for a couple of rounds.
Okay, cool.
Raph, it looks like your shanties worked.
Yes, behold the power of the knock, knock, knocking.
What do you want to do?
All right, so we have a fighter in a coma, a crippled mage of some description, and we had another fighter guy.
There's a fighter guy that is attacking your warrior monk who has hurt her quite badly, and there's an archer who is loading his bow.
All right. So, quick question. My defense bonus here is 5-star, which I think is supposed to be a 53, because that's what my soft leather score is.
Oh no! So actually, your soft leather is just about you're actually maneuvering in it.
All right. Okay.
What that means is it's 5 points if you don't have your shield out.
Ah.
If you look on the bio page, it says you have a plus 20 shield. So if you put your shield out, you get another 20 to that.
Fair enough. So my basic plan is to switch up and interpose between Bell and the other warrior and go wholly defensive with my sword. I am taunting, but all I'm actually trying to do is to keep him away until Bell gets her head back. So yes, I'm insulting the bejesus out of him in any language that comes to mind, and possibly some I make up. But my general plan is just to play defense for her.
So it will eat up some of your defensive bonus to run up there, but you'll run and you can get yourself in the way. What's your attack bonus with your sword?
85.
85. So 45. So you'll have a 70 defensive bonus when he comes to swing at you. So you're in good shape. You do get up there and get in between him and interpose yourself.
My God, your mouth must be a portal to the land of stench.
He looks so angry. Just furious. Udane, could I have you roll percentiles to see how well your pit viper does? So your pit viper is sort of there's lots of people stomping around and stuff, and it's doing that thing where it's getting out of the way right now.
I barely notice because I'm so concerned for Beltru. Having seen her take a hefty blow, I whisper under my breath, now is not your time, and try and make my way over there to try and aid her.
Okay. So it'll take a portion of your action to maneuver over there, but you can get up by her close enough that if you wanted to cast something next round, does that seem reasonable?
Sure. So I get to her, but that's my full turn.
Unless what would you want to do?
I have healing, the concussion way, right?
Yeah.
That was my intention. Yeah.
So if you move, you could stay where you are. What's the range on your concussion
It's
wounds?
touch.
Given the distance, it's going to eat up some of your action, and so you're going to need that to be able to cast.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. I guess I move there, but I have my shield up, so I can move defensively and get there to do that next turn.
Absolutely. So you two get up and sort of in the way to block and assume that defensive position. The archer is going to take a shot at the sorcerer. What is your armor type?
I think it's 1 or 2.
I think you are right.
2.
2. That. So he's going to fire this arrow at you. It's a 44 plus his bonus, minus your 5 defensive bonus of 39. Plus, going to be a. You're going to take 10 points.
Okay.
And so you hear me flipping through the pages. Delightful. That's an A38. And a blow essentially hits you in the side, and you're bleeding 1 hit point per round.
Okay.
So a pretty minor, pretty lucky shot there for you. Beltru, you are stunned on this round.
Yes. Describe stun.
Stun means that you can't attack,
Mm-hmm.
and you're at a minus 50 to other maneuvers.
Okay. Let's see here then. This means though that I still can go, it's okay, guys. I'm fine. I'm just fine. There.
Yes, you can do that.
All right. Let's see here. But I can't attack, and that's kind of scary how much of my abilities that is.
Yes.
Huh. But it just hit Kreva, and Kreva's like my bud. So can I provoke the archer with my remaining action?
Do you have a taunt skill?
I do, in fact, have provoke at 50.
Okay.
It's my main secondary skill.
Okay. Then you are rolling, because you're at a minus 50 for maneuvers, you're just rolling a straight D100.
Okay. I'm somewhat annoying.
You're somewhat annoying. It's mostly that you've got both the cleric and the bard have moved up and interposed themselves. So even though he hates you as much as he hates anyone, he also has 2 people in his way.
Oh, he does. Okay.
3
Yeah.
if you count as Taylor.
So 1 melee guy left, 1 in a coma, the sorcerer writhing on the ground, and an untouched archer, or minor damage on the archer. The melee guy is going to try, since you're in the way, Raph, is going to try and hit you. Raph, what is your armor type?
I am wearing leather, and I think that's an 8.
8?
Yes.
So
8.
That's a decent armor there. 8, and it's even up on this roll.
I am so glad you were looking at these tables and not me.
And his blow doesn't even come close. He swings to get at you, but the cleric has come up into his field of vision, and he is thrown off by that. So that was melee, and so our sorcerer again.
So I will try to run up to the archer now, since he's fumbling with his bow, and well, get him with my sword.
Oh, awesome. Okay. So you've moved up a little ways. So I'll say with the maneuvering that's been going on, you're still going to be at a -25.
Okay.
Because you've got to run around to get to him.
Mm-hmm.
But let's have you make that attack roll. It kind of went open it out, so
92.
92. And that. So that's actually going to do 8 points and a B puncture. So go ahead and roll your puncture critical.
42.
42. So you run up and you hit him and cut him across the calf, and blood starts to run down from there. He's clearly got a bleeding wound from that shot. And you see him getting ready to kind of drop bow and switch to something more effective. Raph.
Already? My goodness. All right. So we've got him dealing with the archer, and up until this point, my taunting and such like has been pretty good, but I'm also backed up by the cleric now. So I think it's reasonable to try and actually strike back.
Okay.
Strike hard, strike fast, no mercy, sir.
So use all of your attack bonus to try and take this guy out?
You know what? Sure, why not? Fortune favors the bold.
That it doesn't. But go ahead and make that roll.
All right. So let's see. Raph he's pretty good. So he's got a 85.
That is pretty good, actually.
Yeah, no. His only range stuff is all spells, though, so which is good because he stinks at range. 175. So that's pretty good.
Yes, that's going to do an E/E being the highest of the standard criticals. Go ahead and roll your slash. It's just a straight D100.
All right. 54.
54. So you rush up on this guy, and the blade goes in and hits him, and he'll drag himself back off of it. But you'll hear the sucking chest wound as the blood comes down. He looks like he's stunned, and he is bleeding badly. He looks in very bad shape.
I say, don't worry. I'll never inform anyone how pathetic you were, because that is not a good story.
Fury, just anger. These Eld do not take kindly to your taunting. Udain.
Yeah. So I see that the fighter in front of me is pretty significantly injured, right? I mean,
yes.
Yeah. So I think Udain kind of takes, I think either had his flail in his hand already or has it nearby, but kind of, with his shield in front of him, holds up the flail and says, you're approaching the end of your segment. And is gonna take a swing at him. So
perfect.
Looks like one hand crushing is 58. So I just had to do one D100 plus 58.
Yes, you're going to get a bonus because he's stunned. So go ahead and make that roll.
Okay, so I don't add the bonus. It's just...
you'll do roll D100 and add 58 to it. Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
So that's not a good roll. Now, you could spend one of your hero points to reroll. You have 4 of them.
Sure. Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
He will barter you out of all of your points.
That is my goal.
A little bit better, not much.
83. We've got a plus from that, so that goes to 107 minus his shield is that. So you hit him and do some concussion to him, but don't draw a critical on him. He is still up, still bleeding badly, but he is still up. The archer is by our sorcerer there.
I have one question.
Yes, absolutely.
What about the Viper?
The Viper, with a roll on the Viper took off.
Ah, I see. Okay.
The 0-3 result on the D100 meant that the Viper is looking for its own hide there. The archer will drop the bow, switch over to a dagger, and go to stab at you. I believe your defensive bonus is a 5, right?
I think so. And armor class 2.
Armor class 2. So 5 plus that. Ooh.
Oh, that doesn't sound well.
So you are going to take 14 points. Unless you'd like to have me re-roll.
You see how this goes?
I'm going to take it.
Okay, there you go. That's the right answer. For me. Oh, that's not too bad. He hit you along the arm, and you're bleeding 2 more hits per round.
2 more, so 3 total.
Yes. Got a couple of bleeders that's kind of soaking into your robes now. You really can't tell because, of course, the sand here is red, so it's already running red with that.
Lowell, you didn't do the purchase of coins, trinkets, and herbs for the 2 new players, and I just wanted to mention that you can say that 1 or more of your herbs is a clotting herb, and it will stop 3 points of bleeding, but it takes a turn to apply. Excuse me.
We'll get the loadout at the end of the fight.
Oh,
but that's a very good point. Yes, very convenient. I might be able to kill you before then. Speaking of killing someone, Belle?
Here, this is sort of frustrating. Oh, I don't know what to do. I know. I'll cheer for him. Go on, hit him hard. Hit him.
Okay. So right now there are only 2 foes that are actually with any kind of significant effectiveness. One is the wounded melee guy, and the other one is the wounded archer. The sorcerer is trying to recover from being stunned, and to kind of roll around and maybe get his hand up so that he can try and cast one-handed. The swordsman burns his stun on this round, essentially. So he doesn't attack this round and recovers from the stun. That brings us to our sorcerer.
Okay. Well, this time with a full round, I'll try to finish the archer.
Okay. Go ahead and make your attack roll. 90. And his armor type that. So you will again do concussion to him. The blow doesn't land. He's got the shield, and he turns it aside a little, but he does take some concussion from that.
Okay.
Oh, actually, wait, hang on. He doesn't have a shield because he's the one with just the dagger. So actually, go ahead and roll the A crush. 19. Okay. So you essentially clang off of his dagger, and he's going to have to. He's not going to be able to attack this round. Essentially, you kind of knock him back with that.
That's good.
That is. Raf. The blood everywhere. Thank God you're wearing red.
That is why I'm wearing red. Fabulous and practical. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it would be cruel not to put him out of his misery.
Fair enough.
At this point. You'd think by now I'd remember exactly what it is. It's an 85, right? Or something like that. 85, of course it is. All right, there we go. Not -1. Let me type it in. All right.
That's a good one.
There.
That's that.
Pretty
With
decent.
his defensive bonus, go ahead and roll your E/critical on him.
64.
64. So this catches him in the forearm, and cuts across there, and more blood comes out, and he'll stagger back and drop to the sands, essentially taken out by sheer concussion hits and bleeding, and drops down there, collapses. Udane. Or Udane. I'm never very good. Raph is easy.
I don't either one.
Bell is easy.
I have a name in real life that's always mispronounced, so I don't actually care. Like, just as long as you
Okay.
understand who the designated target is, and it's just language, just a mouth shape. Okay, so yeah, so sorry, is the person who I was fighting down? Is that who Raph just downed?
Yes, the you two are on this fighter, kept him away from Bell, and by sheer dint, you're able to knock him down.
Mhm.
Your closest near target is the sorcerer who's trying to get up, or the archer that your sorcerer is fighting.
Okay, how is our sorcerer looking? Are you pretty injured, or are you still okay? Like,
I don't know about this bleeding.
Bleeding 3 hits points around.
okay, so I have flow stop. It stops bleeding at the rate of 3 hits around. It's a touch range. So can I get up to him?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. So I want to do that.
Okay, just make a casting roll. Just need to roll 27 or above, and it will go off.
All right. There we go.
Oh yeah, perfect. So, what do you suppose that looks like?
So I think that I have like a little pouch of like geometric shapes. In this one is like just a line segment, and I put it over the it doesn't actually matter where it is on him, because I say like, just like the line you're bleeding will end, and it does.
So you'll smack that onto him, and your bleeding will go away.
Thank you.
Don't thank me.
Thank the platonic solids.
Thank the red one.
The archer is going to try again to stab at you.
I thought he was
that's
recovering
right.
this round.
That's right. He's recovering on this round. That means that it's going to be just the sorcerer. So he's trying to cast fast, and he's only got one hand. So let's see what happens when he tries to cast shock bolt like that. Okay. That's not a great roll, but he doesn't fumble it. Udane, you will see that the sorcerer kind of has rolled over. He's got one hand kind of crippled, and there's a flare and a crackle of electricity comes shooting past you. As essentially the sorcerer tried to fast cast a shock bolt, but with the penalties for fast casting and his injured hand, it didn't even land on you. Bell on 11. Next round.
I'm starting to feel better. I kind of say, don't worry, guys. I'm almost got it back together here. You can see. You can tell she's out of it because her bells are kind of ringing of their own volition rather than her complete control. It's getting better.
So, but she does just look, and she's not bleeding at all, is she?
No, she has a sort of ugly bruise on one of her arms, and that's it.
Okay. Krevya? God.
Let's finish the eld.
Okay. Last desperate swing with this broadsword on this archer. That's a good hit. Go ahead and roll your D/.
57.
57. So that's going to catch him across the leg. Essentially, the blade comes down, it hits him. He will stagger back, kind of clutch at that, and he also sinks to the sand. Raph. There is a Eld sorcerer mumbling incantations to try and let loose with yet another volley.
I mean, I can give them points for their dedication to being horrible people who are bad at ambushes, but really now, so I almost feel bad doing it. But if he's going to keep on making with the incantation, we can't have that. So I'll try to put him out of his misery and hope for the best.
Let's have you roll and see if you can coup de grace. That's enough to do a critical. So I'm going to say that, yeah. What does that look like when you put him down?
I think that is he standing at this point?
Oh no, he's still laying on the ground.
I think Raph he's annoyed by the sheer like low feeling of this, of the triteness of it. So he's just like shaking his head. He's just like walks by him and just stabs him almost as a matter of course while he's on his way to someone else. And like let's say he walks towards our sorcerer, so he just stabs him and is like, well met.
There's the last of this eldish curse on his lips, even as he sinks back to the ground. And the foes are dispatched. Guys can catch your breath. Is anyone else bleeding? I think everybody else stopped their bleeding wounds, right?
So the archer has sunk into the sand and he's out.
Yes.
Okay.
Looks like all of your ambushers have been dealt with. You can go over to Alenica. It looks like she's just unconscious. In that way of the lack of motive force from not having her player here, but otherwise doesn't look too badly injured.
Well, fortunately, she's small, so she'll be easy to carry, right?
Yes, can make a papoose of some kind.
I have that big cloth that I use for everything, so I'll papoose her up.
Fair enough.
She'll love it when she finally wakes.
Do the elves have anything of value?
Let's
That
see.
is not coin.
No, I've got the coins handled. It's good.
Okay. So you will find on them 3 coin worth of goods. And let me see then. Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Magic item.
And you will see that the sorcerer has a sort of ornate potion bottle with him. It is not labeled.
I will take a crack at it.
Ooh, that's right.
Yeah, bard. Yeah. Woo.
Yeah.
So I think in this case, I'm probably looking at item analysis as being what I need to do here.
That is correct.
So because this has a 4, does that mean I'm spending 4 points, or is it still just 1 point?
It is 4 points.
I was afraid you would say that.
But you also have a spell adder.
That is true. Let's use the spell adder. I get one.
Yep.
I get 2 free spells, so I'll just use that one now.
Absolutely.
And what the spell specifically says is caster has a 50% chance for each ability of determining what enchanted abilities the item has. Once an item analysis spell has been cast on an item, it may not be cast on that item again until the caster, I'm guessing, sleeps, but it just says the caster.
Okay. That's me having
right.
cut and pasted.
All right,
Okay,
so I
roll
will
it.
go for it. 41. I am clearly better at sword play than I am at spell play.
Yeah, you're not sure. It's an unlabeled, but it's not. Your magic isn't identifying what the potion does. I will tell you, you could tell that it is a magical potion and not say just some poison or anything like that.
Yeah. It seems to run on magical energy of some kind.
But that means Kreva could use wizard wands and staves.
Not with a potion. Potion's a little bit different than the standard magic items. The other stuff the Eld have are Eldish make daggers and swords and things like that. They are probably, you can gather some of that up. It might catch someone's eye because they are so strangely made. Though they have an air of unpleasantness about them. Let's take our 5-minute break here. And we'll come back and we'll kind of reconnoiter and we'll talk about where the group's going to head on to from here.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. So what have you been playing, Max?
What have I been playing? Blades in the Dark. I have a weekly game that got canceled. It's usually Thursday nights. It got canceled tonight.
Okay.
What else?
How far in are you on the Blades game?
Pretty. I mean, I think we're in I don't know, maybe 6 sessions in, but we're still pretty low as far as tier and everything.
Yeah.
It's fun
I
though.
just hit tier 2 and we're 12 sessions in for my face-to-face game.
Yeah. We're close. I think we're close to tier 1. Or I mean, we're still. Or I guess no. Do you start tier 1? Yeah.
You start at tier 0.
Yeah. So we're getting close to tier 1. Well, I guess I've been running. I've still run 5th edition, and I've been running some one shots. I'm running a DCC game tomorrow. Just a bunch of little stuff.
Okay. I'm still waiting. I'm anxiously awaiting Mutant Crawl Classics to finally.
Yeah, I want my hands on it. Someone locally has been running games in Austin. I still haven't made it to one. They're always at times I can't go. He's just doing once a month.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I've been kind of posting those little one shots to Google Plus, so that's been fun.
Nice.
Yeah. How are things going with you?
Good. We're kind of looking at. I'm going to check in with the Blades in the Dark people at the end of the year, but I think they're going to want to continue.
Yeah.
And other than that, we're doing Godbound and 13th Age, and then our sort of multi-versal action cards game. So we've got a real mix, but a little more trad in the mix face to face than has been for a while.
Yeah. How do you like 13th Age? I have the book, but I haven't really read it.
I adore it. It's for me, it's the easiest of the sort of the D&D style games. If I'm going to do that kind of game, that's probably what I'm going to run in. There's a lot. It's easy. It's got some player side tech that I like, and I run loose and stupid. So
yeah, it looks cool. I just haven't really done it again.
Yeah, I think if you like 5th edition and that's working for you, then I don't necessarily think 13th Age, is going to do too much more than that.
Yeah. Well, it's just one thing. It's it's hard to transition a group to have player. It's everyone knows 5th edition, and it's easy to get people on. So that's I run it because it's easy, but it's not my favorite. But I kind of just house rule out the things I don't like anyways.
That's what everybody does. That's how this Rolemaster game, why it's so much easier than regular Rolemaster. This is all house rules all the time.
Yeah.
So for Udain and Raf, we talk real quickly about loadout. This is just in case you want to take some things. You get 10 points to buy stuff. Each point can buy a ration, adventuring gear, a la Dungeon World, where you can mark it off to have something. A coin, essentially a unit of spending. Herbs for healing, or a trinket or oddity. And you can split that up however you want. And herbs can do things like heal concussion hits, recover
Heal
from
stun.
Heal stun.
Oh, I'm such an idiot. I'm so sorry, you guys.
No, that's fine. Is the list you just gave us, is that written down somewhere? Just so
it's in the Google Drive folder. It's in the sheet that says "Welcome to Rolemaster," and it's the last.
Welcome.
So do we need to choose the herbs up front, or are they
Nope. You just say I have it, and then I've got two units worth of herbs, so I'll spend 2 on I needed to heal stun right now.
Cool. Yeah. So you want me to tell you?
Nah, you can just write it down. I'm pretty loose about that.
Okay. I want a trinket or oddity, and I want it to be like a crystal or like a prism. So
Oh,
like you put it down and it reflects out the the thing. And I don't. It doesn't. Maybe it's on a necklace.
that sounds good. Yeah, sort of classic the diffraction there.
I'm not seeing the welcome to Rolemaster thing, so I'm just gonna.
Where it is? It is the Rolemaster player intro in the folder.
Rolemaster player intro. Oh, I see it. Hello,
Yeah.
Rolemaster player intro. How are you today? Food and water
I'm
in the
fine.
desert seems like a good idea.
That is true. So you four, plus a semi-conscious fifth, are in this dunes area. You've dispatched these eld and kind of got your wits about you. You can proceed on. It's probably now still before noon. You could stop and break to recover a little bit of damage, or you could continue on with your travels.
So before we continue, can I cast a healing spell on myself?
Yes, you can.
And I don't want to rush it.
Sure. We won't even make a casting roll. Just how much does it heal?
The cheapest one, I think, like the level 1 heals between 1 and 10.
Okay.
So I would cast it maybe twice.
Sure. So go ahead and roll 2d10 and get that much back.
Oh, great. Maybe once more, I'll spend one more
Yes,
power
fair
point.
enough.
Okay. That will be it for now.
You got a little bit back?
I should be at 9 damage points now, as far as I understand.
Okay. That's pretty good.
How do we recover spell points?
Sleep. At the after a good night's sleep, you will recover all of your spell points.
Certainly nothing would interrupt a good night's sleep.
Fair enough.
So just I guess a rule question, like when the summons normally last a minute, so was it going away like it lasted a minute but it went away because of the low roll, or like I guess I just want to understand like
essentially the OT 3 roll is a fumble. So
Okay.
I read that as a fumble on that.
That's cool. I just didn't. What is there a threshold for a fumble, or is it just if it fails, it fumbles? Or
So generally with spell casting, it's if you roll a 1 or a 2. With maneuvers and anything like that, it's if you roll a 5 or below, then you actually roll again and subtract it.
okay, so 5 or below.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I just wasn't clear on.
Oh no, that makes sense. It's a good question. So you can gather yourselves together, and the question I have for you is: do you still want to continue the direction you were talking about before, heading to the field and then making your way southward, trying to get to Medved's tower?
Yeah. Oh, well, let's see here. Oh, yeah. Did we tell you guys about the beavers?
What?
So,
we're in the desert.
Oh, no, there's a big reservoir over there because there's a family of giant beavers and they have a dam and it's a lovely place, but they mostly eat rye bread.
Have you been drinking water?
I have. It is, yes. And it was delicious water. But it's for real. And we could go back there if you want to get a good night's sleep, or we could go onto the rye field, but there's a what's the word? It's a little fairy guy who guards the field, and so we can't trample the wheat or kill things while in the field.
A vodnik.
Well,
Yes, that's the word. It would be good if I remembered those words, but that's for people who think about words.
Although, if we did accidentally trample on the wheat, this is what would happen in the story. Now, hear me out. If you accidentally trampled on it, think of how much more epic it would be as we escaped his wrath. Yes?
Sounds dangerous.
Well, of course it's dangerous.
Let's put it this way. This guy's been waiting around for like decades for someone to trample his wheat so he could smash him. So it might be a little bit more epic.
Right. So we have a choice between getting rest at a beaver reservoir or possibly being smashed by a tiny fairy with a wheat fixation.
And a magical wheat field.
I'm not sure
Yes,
if
yeah, but we're
he's
not allowed to
lying.
take the wheat. So what's
And rye, excuse me, is rye, not wheat.
all right? Rye, as in what the beavers eat. Only they don't eat this because then they get smashed.
No, they do eat it. You can harvest it if you're polite. And follow some sense of unexplained rules.
So I think you see Udane pick up an arrow and kind of throw it up in the air, and it falls pointing towards Medved's tower. And he says, "There's only one path forward."
See, that's why we keep him.
I cannot argue with logic like that. Let us go.
Fair enough. So you can gather yourselves together again
Mhm.
and head onward to the next section, which is not too far off from where you're at. So hang on 1 second. That's that and that. You hit that T junction and sort of aim south, and it's about a 30-40 minute walk. Again, there are these red sand dunes that go up extraordinarily high. Climbing them is kind of a madman's labor to try and actually go up them. The paths here, stone, scrub brush, ironwood trees, that kind of thing, kind of resting in the lee of this. You have the sense that maybe in some old times there might have been some fertile grass or trees growing here, but it's more burnt and wasted throughout. But after that 40-minute walk, you will come out into another large clearing where the dunes kind of shift and break. You can see that there is a path exit from here going off to the west, and then another path that seems to head to the south and east. But what's more striking you is that in the middle of this clearing, there is this lush 100-foot square field of rye. Fully grown, beautiful. It looks like you're out in some southern farmland from here. Other than that, you're not seeing anything. Wind kind of through the wheat, through the rye, kind of shakes it a little. What do you want to do?
Well, it smells really nice.
Yeah, you've had mostly dust and dirt and red around here, but now you've got this sort of beautiful green.
Well, clearly we're all awed by it. So, so is it like, but there's enough room to walk around it per se, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. And we don't, do we see anywhere where someone has harvested some?
If someone has been here through to harvest recently, it must have regrown very quickly.
Mm. I sort of look back at the others. I'm like, so, all I don't even know how you do this.
What are we trying to do?
I mean, if you were going to try to harvest some.
So we want to try to harvest. Well, then we need to contact the Vodnik.
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 Yeah. Well, geez, do you talk to them or do you just not annoy them?
Well, I believe they're best contacted through song.
Go on.
I look desperately at Kreva.
Now here's a little number that I sing for elven audiences, which are several degrees removed from small fairy creatures, but I'm sure you'll like it as Rye figures prominently. I'm going to try and draw his attention with a beautiful elven song about Rye.
All right. Why don't you just make a straight roll for me?
All right, but I'll tell you something.
Yes.
Were there to be a skill of entertaining or some such, I believe that I ought to have said skill.
Sure. Let's call it entertaining monsters.
Sure, let's do it. I'll put it at one of my 40s because I have 2 of them. Why not? Entertaining monsters. Sounds like the name of my autobiography. All right. So, what could go wrong? Boom! Elvish songs about Rye are the best.
So, roll another D100 because you get to add it to that roll.
Nice. Oops. 77. That is
Okay.
214.
All right. So you will play the song. You guys are kind of standing by, perhaps maybe a little skeptical of this. And you will see the rye sort of shake and vibrate, and you will see a figure rise up from the rye. And I will show it to you.
Not what I was expecting.
That's beautiful. So beautiful.
As are you, madam.
Play us another pretty song.
As you wish. So I'm going to give a side eye to Belle because this is not what was promised.
Do I know what it is?
That's a vodnik. That they can be all kinds of horrible, unpleasant things. This is the form it's taken. Maybe the form of something that was sacrificed to it long ago, sort of wearing that harvest queen kind of garland around its head. And it seems to be the shape that it is assumed as this guardian of this rye field.
Okay.
Just so I'm clear, why exactly did we want to talk to this thing? Do we hope to get some of the rye, or do we need directions to the tower?
Oh no, there was no reason. You are the reason.
Awesome, because this is going to be a heck of a story. Well, shoot, I'll just play her another song, and then at that point, I think I'm going to ask for some magic rye.
All right. I don't think you need to roll for your play, given how well you rolled on that first one. You can move into yet another song. So, what is the tale of this next song?
It's going to be about a willowy woman with hair the color of straw spun to gold.
Ooh, very nice, very nice. And she listens very closely to this, kind of. She hums along with it.
So while the catcher in the rye is listening, is it distracted? If I start casting, will it notice?
No, it's certainly caught by the song you've sung there.
Okay. So I would like to maybe consult my knowledge of monsters and see if I can stun it. Will my spells work if I try to stun it?
Let's have you make a monster lore roll.
So 151.
It's probably going to be pretty resistant to something like that. You would have to lay a several rounds of stun on it for that to actually work.
Okay.
Can I sidle towards the exit where we're supposed to be going? I mean, just a leisurely sidestep every couple of beats,
Okay, and you'll finish this song. You see your kind of people are thinking, people are kind of moving, and Raph, she will go. And then she gestures for you to approach. Let me reward you.
It is difficult being the hero of your own story. I have no choice. So, there we go.
Udane, what are you doing while this is happening? I'm just curious.
Yeah. Wait, so do I feel like this is an undead creature, or is this like a spirit?
It's a spirit that's taken this form.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to figure out whether I am opposed to this type of entity or not.
That's a good question.
And I don't know. I think that that if I'm opposed to anything, it's that it's using this body. So I think that I'm kind of thinking about the fact that that all things end, and that I think that I believe in a cycle of rebirth, and in a kind of when you die, you need to be buried so that you can be reborn. And I think that I see this as an imposition in that process.
Mm-hmm. Well, you'll see she will do this. She will bring her hands together as you approach Raph. And she will rub her hands together. And she holds it above like this, clearly for you to put your hands out below hers.
It would be rude not to.
And she'll open them, and she drops this pair of carven ivory dice into your hands.
I believe he is very appreciative of it. And he goes, "Thank you so much, my lady.
They will give you luck when you want it. You can pass it on to another to not give them luck. You know what I mean."
Her nose just falls off.
Yes. And she'll gesture with the sickle, and she'll say, "If you wish to harvest, come, gentle folk, harvest. I will wait back. Do not take too much, and do not sleep here in the dark."
Yeah, I think we're good on that second one.
Okay. And she'll start to sink below the level of the top of the rye.
Okay.
See,
then-
there's nothing a good song can't do. Ha ha!
That was impressive. I mean,
I know.
they were very nice songs. Well,
Yes.
then how do you harvest this stuff?
No idea. I'm not a farmer.
We look at Udane.
Trust not the fruit of an evil one. What seeds has she planted, one who will not plant herself for rebirth?
But she's a spirit, right?
In a body,
Oh.
corrupting the flesh just as she has corrupted this crop.
Goo.
I mean, the beavers eat it, right? So it's probably fine once you cook it.
Yeah.
Well, when the beavers jump off their dam,
They've been there for like decades.
if you wish to take of the crop, I will not judge you, but I will not partake.
I think honestly, Ref takes some not because he has any intent of cooking it, but just because for however long it's good, he can end the story by going, and this was the wheat right here.
Dun, dun, dun.
You know,
Except
that's
it was
really good for good. Why? Yeah, but you confused me when you called it a wheat field. This is the rye right here. So, yes, dramatic reveal.
So, do you wish to head to the west? Do you wish to head to the southeast? Do you wish to camp here overnight?
Not camp. Move on towards Medved.
So it sounds like the southward is certainly the directions that you were given.
Then southward.
Okay.
Because Udane said forward.
So we're now sort of in. We're getting on towards the afternoon, passing through another set of these dunes. The track twists a little oddly. It's more worn through here. Clearly, this has been traversed well. And in the distance to the south and off a ways, you can see a glint like there's definitely a tower. You can't really make it out from here, but the gold is sort of reflecting off of something in the distance. But you will move along here, and after about 45 minutes, the path opens up, and you will see there is another path now kind of doubling back west, and there is this enormous amphitheater. It's looks like someone has spent monumental amount of time carving sandstone from one of the sort of the cliffs that has gone here into this 150-foot tall amphitheater, like a great shell amphitheater. And there's sandstone sort of tiling out in front of it. And you can see that in the middle of that amphitheater, looks like there's a shrine, and you will see there are about a dozen enormous bears in armor, sort of. Some of them are sitting by the shrine. Some of them are basking out in the sun. Some of them are playing cards. There's about a dozen of them. They're just kind of there, clearly, maybe guarding the shrine. You're not sure.
Does it look like it's supposed to be like a place for a performance?
with that kind of amphitheater design, it does seem like that. I mean, it's an odd design to just put a shrine in the center of it.
Are you suggesting that I go and perform for the bears? Because if so, I will gladly comply.
Well, I mean, it just seems like there must be some sort of performance that occurs there.
In the name of not actually getting mauled, I'm pretty sure the sorcerer knows something about monsters' ability.
So I have intuition. Caster gains vision of what will happen in the next minute if an action is taken. Can I intuit what the bears will, how the bears will respond if we go up and try and perform?
Yeah. What you see is you have a vision of the group walking up, and the bears kind of looking at you, and they seem okay until like somebody goes and touches the shrine, and then everything kind of goes red after that.
By somebody, you mean Raph?
It's in my spot.
Yeah, I think maybe, I'm having a vision, and as I open my eyes, Raph is like walking forward, and I kind of like take a good double step and grab him and say, "Whatever you do, don't touch the shrine."
So what do you guys want to do? You could
seems
circle
like
around.
easy advice.
You could circle around and X out one of the ways. You could approach the bears.
Well, they may actually know where the tower is, so it seems to me that it makes more sense to try and talk to the bears, I guess, since all they care about apparently is us not touching the shrine.
That was the vision?
Yep. Though I'm not sure how good they are at speaking in, human, half-elven, elven, any of those things, really.
But you speak a lot of languages, so it'll be fine.
I got skills I haven't marked off yet, so yeah, theoretically, sure, why not?
I think I would like to go and try to introduce myself as the bear brusher. Kreva the bear brusher.
All right.
Oh, that's
Step
right.
forward, kind of walk up. One of these bears, the nearest one, kind of been sleeping out in the sun, kind of rolls itself up and kind of.
Hello,
Greetings.
mighty bear. My name is Kreva, and I'm a well-known bear brusher, and I would like to offer my services to you.
That's a thing?
Yes, it is, from where I come. May I demonstrate?
Yeah, she stands behind him and nods.
Okay. He looks around. There's another, 11 bears around here. So he's not particularly worried about you little pink things. Holds out his arm.
Well, I take out the brush, and then gently I start to, brush his arm.
Yeah, right there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And Udain and Raph, you haven't seen this brush before, but when he does this, the bear's fur goes glistening white and clean and looks magnificent. And the bear's like puts out his other arm.
Well, I continue.
Okay. He'll actually kind of puts his head down. Yeah, and it's good because he's got there's stuck honey bits and dirt and things in there, dried up like ambergris, and you'll get all of that brushed out, and he looks magnificent. And he's like, where did you train to become such a great bear brusher?
Oh, years of practice. That is my profession and my vocation.
Hey, you guys, check this out. And he'll like walks and does this. And they're all like, what the? They're talking amongst themselves, kind of guttural bear language and this group of a dozen bears kind of start to come over in, and they're big. Again, 8 foot tall, hot breath from them. But they all are interested. The one who's clearly the commander of this color guard goes, okay, hang on, everybody, stop, don't crowd the bear brusher. Kind of walks up. His fur's a little more gray. Kind of crosses his arms. So is this your bear brusher entourage?
Yes, it is. This is Beltru, Raf, and Udain. Together, we wander these lands and we look for bears who are worthy of our brush. And now we found you. But we have heard that there is one worthy even more, called Nedved, whom we would like to brush, if that's possible.
This. I might be a little cautious in that, but yeah. If you tell us, if you give us the brushing, that is as good as Tevis is there, then yes, I will send one of my men to escort you to the tower.
I will duly give them the brushing.
Okay. And essentially, you will see your companion, your sorcerer's companion, has this magical brush that he's found somewhere, and he proceeds to brush these bears. And when he does it, I mean, it's one simple brush, clears away all of the dirt and stuff, and it ends up looking lustrous and fine. And the bears will offer you food. They will bring over, they've got mead, and they've got chunks of meat in a kind of a stew thing, and they've got honey. If you want honey with some ants in it, they have that. If you want some of that. They're very generous with their supplies here.
All right.
Let's take advantage.
What's the shrine look like as we're eating?
So the shrine, you'll see, is this red marble figure that looks like it's like a person turning into a bear. It's standing up, and you can see it is definitely a bear figure, but there are human elements to it. And it does seem to be, I mean, you have enough clerical knowledge, and you've heard about Medved to know that this is definitely his shrine.
So I think I would ask them, are you here to guard this shrine? Do you all, work for Medved, or are you?
Yeah, we are the color guard for Medved. We guard the shrine. There are many threats around and about. Even the tower itself is under threat now.
Really? What is the threat? What is threatening the tower?
Medved is a good god, a little god, but sometimes he sleeps, as we do. When you go into a deep sleep, and during one of those sleeps, some of the Eld came and stole into the tower, and they locked off the upper floors from Medved, and they have been doing things up there. And it is annoying since none of us can get up there. What the ward that is on the passage we cannot get through, and Medved cannot.
He says Eld. I spit on the ground and kind of just say,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
We
look
don't
to
like.
Beltru as she kind of approaches the conversation.
Sort of look up and I go, yeah, we had to take out a few of those on our way over here.
Oh,
So-
good. The fewer around here, they're like little skinny elf ants scurrying around. They're not good.
They're just mean and hateful.
Very poorly dressed.
I don't know about that.
So what is it that you need to get up there for? So you could wake up Medved? Or is
No,
he up-
Medved's downstairs.
Oh,
He's just
phew.
annoyed. I mean, imagine if someone came into your house
That
and
would-
locked and took like your second and third floor.
Wow. How
So
many of them?
Medved's kind of pissed.
Do you know how many are up there?
No one saw how many. And they seem to have some way to go back and forth now. They've got magics.
Well, if they've got a way to go back and forth, then if we can find that, we could get in there.
That's not. Maybe you could put that to Medved. I think he'd probably pay people who would be willing to undertake that. Who could actually do it?
The bear brusher hire is only the best.
Well, and he's looking at his things. You see, some of them have started to like clean their claws, like their fur is so clean now. They're kind of trying to clean everything else up too. Some of them have sticks and they're kind of working on their teeth. And the finally you'll finish up, and the commander here will shout to one of his men and say, "Take the bear brusher and his associates to Medved. They wish to speak to him, and make sure that no one molests them." Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe if you come back this way, well, we could stop and we would feed you another supper if you come through.
We'll definitely try.
Okay. And this bear will kind of look up at the sky and who's asking to say, we should move quickly if we wish to be there before sunset.
All right.
And he will begin to walk. Doesn't go down all fours to run or lope, but walks with a sort of steady, heavy tread through here. The bears are surprisingly fast. Their wide feet seems to handle very well on the sand here, and they are armored. This one has a bardiche, big pole arm with him, and probably not used to walking around with other people like this, so you kind of have to watch out because he swings it around wildly from time to time. And he will walk down this path. It will come out into this clearing, and you will see that there's another exit from this that heads south, and maybe a couple of others. But in the center of this is this giant stone head. Sort of resting against one of these dunes. I've got a picture of it there. And this sort of wild man sitting out in front of it. And the bear goes, "Don't make eye contact. Keep walking."
I follow directions.
You hear the sort of mad cackling from the guy at the stone. Don't look at him. Just don't even acknowledge him.
Why don't we want to look at him?
Because then he'll start talking to you, and he'll just keep talking, and he never stops.
Huh.
And not in a good way.
I think
You're not going to put us in a quest or anything.
No, I don't think he's a quest giver.
I don't want to look at him, but then like it's getting late in the evening, right? And the sun's setting, and I think like I see this like just like hint of red on the horizon, and I just have to look that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you'll see his one big eye looking at you, sort of madly cackling. Yellow teeth. Okay. Sort of knit burlap sack clothing on there. He has that look of, oh, you should come and talk to me, and I will tell you all the crazy stories of my crazy stone-headed god. You've probably experienced with this kind of thing.
Yeah, I think I'd say a brief prayer to Hypatia, and then I follow the group. Although I really want to hear about his god.
The bear will follow you along once you move past to the Zardoz head, and will guide you southward. And you can smell the ocean, smell the sea. As you go along this last path bit, you can catch from time to time the tower that you see in the distance. There is eventually opens out into this maybe just a hair short of 100 feet tall, this sandstone tower. But what's kind of catching the light are these sort of crystalline shells that are embedded in the sandstone across it, especially down on these lower levels. And the light catches that, and then you see there's clearly a sort of a cliff break, and then the ocean past that. All around here there are kind of mollusks, great 2 and 3 foot mollusk shells that have been arranged, some in stacks and things. And there's a sandstone walkway ramp leading up to these great doors. And you will see another bear, not dressed in armor, but wearing kind of robes, has missing an eye, looks like it's lost one of its legs, that's sleeping out in front of the doorway as you approach. And it will roll up to its feet, looks you over, notice that you have a guide with you, and he will say, "Welcome to the domicile of Medved, King of the Bears, Lord and Master of the Dunes, Hirsute, lover of men, yada, yada, yada. Welcome. You are welcome in this place." And then it lays back down. And your bear guide will start to walk you in. And I think this is actually a good place for us to stop here, to enter into the tower and enter into this next sort of portion of the adventure. So I think this is a good stopping point. It's probably what you're smelling from here is the smell of a bear den. When you come in, you'll see bears sprawled about the place, great pots of honey broken open, and food scattered about this place. It's like a man cave, but with bears, and it is as pretty and glittering as it was on the outside. It's sticky and dirty and bear-filled inside.
I'm going to turn to the sorcerer and go, "We're going to need a bigger brush."
And let's stop there since we're a little ahead of time there, but I hope that's okay with you guys. We'll wrap, and we'll deal with Medved in the tower next time. Let's do a quick roses and thorns. if you don't mind. We'll do just real quick. Let me see. Thorns. Yeah, I wish I had remembered that you had the stun relief herbs, because I would have pointed that out to Sherry, and that would have been a way for her to stay in the fight for that thing, because stun is really a nasty effect. It's one of the things I always forget about Rolemaster. So that's a thorn I'd have there. Sherry?
I think I regret forgetting that I had herbs and that there were such a thing as stun herbs. I should know that thing, but I was caught up in the moment of being like, I'm stunned. So anyway, you guys were awesome and you didn't need me anyway. So being a cheerleader was just as effective.
Philip, thorns?
I don't really have anything.
Okay, that's fair enough. Jason?
I suppose in a kind of abstract sense, I still have no real idea how Rolemaster works. But I mean, at the same time, I enjoy rolling dice and then having you tell me what happens.
And that is my goal. That is my goal. Is I'm not teaching anyone Rolemaster, really. We're just playing. Right. We're using Rolemaster.
I'm okay with that. And I suppose my general comment is that the system is one prone to obfuscation, which is interesting to me.
Yeah, it does do that. Max?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess it's a thorn, but it's kind of the mixed blessing of like, you're like, I'm gonna roll on the E table of crit. Like, I was like, what language are you speaking?
Yes.
Especially when you would like get into the quickness of it, and you two had a talk where you were like, I'm gonna do a swipe or like a strike, and I was like, what the is this like? And I was like looking at through the Google Doc of like, what are they talking about? But I don't know. I mean, it was kind of funny. Just it's good to play a game that like makes you like be like, what? Like, you know, because I guess I like feel like I read so many games that I'm like, oh, I know what the rules for this. But like, so a mixed thorn. I guess the only other thing is that like I didn't. It took me a little while to kind of get my hands around cleric, and I still don't know like what their real role in combat is. Like, you know, I see that they have heals. And then I guess the attack is so-so. So I guess it was kind of like trying to figure out how to be helpful without having any like damage spells or like. So I think it's just kind of like sussing out what my role is in combat mechanically. But I think combat was still fun.
Yeah, the cleric is an odd one because the class is very openly defined, and so it's hard to tell how much you need to be doing support or attack.
If one thing that came to me is like also like how to use my spells more effectively, because I feel like I'm only just doing vacuum most of the time, and that's about it. I wonder how I can use the spells in combat more, you know, like have larger variety of them.
Yeah, I think this problem the sorcerer has is that spell is so good because you don't have to make an attack roll with it. And you just do a crit. I mean, it's very much, I do something really good or I don't do anything, but it's a really good spell.
Okay.
She's running a sorcerer, and yeah.
It's pretty much a sorcerer is a one spell person. I mean, you get a slightly better thing than your vacuum at higher levels, and you would start using that. But you pretty much have that, and then the things for like Crack's Call to get into things and stuff like that. So you end up having some more utility spells is what it is.
Yeah. So my rose tonight is I completely forgot that you had gotten that magic brush in session 1. And when you pulled that out, I was like, okay, that is the best thing ever. I had completely they talked about like being horse thieves, like buying shitty horses and reselling them. So I had forgotten that you had that. It was really good. Dug that very much. Sherry Rose?
Yeah, well, Philip was a genius with that, and the song was amazing, and I super enjoyed the tossing the arrow up in the air in order to pick the path. That was a very cleric move, so that was awesome, good fun. You guys were all super great.
Philip Roses?
I love the summoning of the Vodnik. It's cool that, you know, we got him out and we survived. It was great.
Yeah, that was a great, very lucky roll there. That was pretty awesome. Jason, roses?
I'm gonna throw a rose at the madcap nature of my fellow PCs because I was a little worried my bard might be over the top with his songs, but then we've got the monk covered in bells, we've got the cleric obsessed with math, and when the sorcerer pulled out that brush and called himself the bear brusher, I about died. So, yeah, I like the crazy fun, good times,
good stuff. That's what I like from fantasy games. Max, I'm going to give you last word.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was fun. It's my first time visiting the Slumbering Dunes, and so I like the setting. I like the bears a lot. I think echoing what everyone said, I thought that the characters were all really cool. I like seeing people, especially like, you know, when you have a character, or like these character sheets have a lot of things on them, right? Like there's a lot of mechanical things, but we all like still found things that weren't on our sheets to like focus on, right? Like, and I feel like a lot of times when you have so many like numbers on your sheet, then you forget to like have other things. And so I think I really like that everyone, like, you know, was it like, and I think this is also part of the way that you read it, where I was like, I don't know what all these numbers are, so I'm just not even gonna like look at them until you tell me to. So yeah, I think this, I mean, it was just a lot of fun. It was a great thing to drop in on, and appreciate you running it. And everyone.
And thanks for reaching out and doing that. I really appreciate that, you jumping in.
Yeah, happy to.
All right, guys. Max, have a good holidays. Since you're not gonna be with us next time, and thank you everybody for tonight. I will see some of you next week, and I'll see my wife in a few minutes. So there we go.
Thanks a lot.
All right, thanks so much.
Have a good night. Bye.
Too.